Hey guys, Tarke and a cat still. Doing a build update on my current character, the Poison Scourge Arrow Pathfinder. We get to level 91. Going run a quick map. Also, can I just say I love this Master Mission change. Super nice. Super nice. You can easily see everything. You just select the one you want to do. I'm just going to run just a clean map for this because I don't want this video to stretch on for too long. As he misclicks everything to Sash. I'm a bit tired, so excuse any mistalk. So I'll do one map, and then afterwards I'll talk about the build, current goals when it comes to crafting, because there's a lot of stuff I want to change. My bow isn't very good, by the way, and the bow is kind of important in these builds. So this is not a representation of the final build's power. They also don't have the helm enchant, sadly. Private League, by the way, so we're doing everything on a budget. I don't like that volatile being there. I don't like leaving volatiles on doors. I just left the volatile on a door. Right, okay. Well played, Tarke. The last patch has added some weird performance issues, but the improvements they've made to Delirium in terms of like quality and everything are amazing. Super amazing. My wither totems are a bit shitty. I just flipped my gems, so they're very squishy, so whenever I pop them on a boss, they just instantly end. It's a bit annoying. But yeah, you can see that volatiles are now these like glowy red testicle-looking things, and they have a delayed pop, which is super nice. They actually punish you more for backtracking now, I think, because it's quite common that you'll be like, oh, I need to run backwards, but if you leave them for too long, they'll explode with a delay. So if someone's like running ahead of you, or if you're just like backtracking or something, you can still trip yourself up. I don't really want to do Legion at the same time as that, so we'll just get a little bit more loot and then we'll come back. Legion. There, so mess up the fog. Loot. Oh, also these splinters now like vacuum, which is nice. So you now just get all the splinters only at the end. Very nice quality of life change. Yoink all the trash light. But yeah, once I've got my new bow, if I can get a good hunter base, because hunter base will get the minus chaos rose craft on. If I can get a good helmet base, I'm actually going to commit to farming some Uberlab. Because there are quite a few good enchants to this build. I could get a good dash enchant, I could get a good Plague Bearer enchant, and obviously I could get the Scourge Arrow additional pod enchant, alongside like any auras, like aura reservation, stuff like that. So because there are a few different usable helm enchants for me, I'm actually going to commit that if I can get a good enough base, I will farm for it. So this character that you're seeing now is actually fairly different to the one that I planned out in the video, like I played a couple of days ago, if you saw that. Just these guys off.
That would only slow me down.
Right. I'll just yoink up this loot and then I'll talk about the build somehow. So yeah, like, I'm doing everything slightly scuffed, but even though this character is a bit scuffed, I don't know what it is, but the playstyle about it is really fun. Like, you would think that having to stop and channel during Deliriums and everything, when everything's so rippy, would be really, like, eh. But even though the character just feels, like, fine, I really enjoy it. I think Plague Bearer is one of the coolest abilities they've ever made. And I'm definitely going to be playing a lot more Poison builds in the future because Plague Bearer is really cool. And I'm just sad it took me this long to finally get around to playing with Plague Bearer because it turns out it's really cool. So this is the tree that I currently have. You can see that I'm not Iron Reflexes, which is what I originally planned on. I end up going for an phase acro tree with a cluster jewel setup. Most people do the Iron Reflexes thing because they come along this bottom path. They put a Divine Flesh jewel here and convert point blank. I don't have a Divine Flesh. If I had Divine Flesh, I would go to Iron Reflexes on a route along this way. Some people go through Shadow and they convert Pain Attunement. I think that's too much travel, especially with how powerful cluster jewels are and because I don't want to drop all my life nodes. So this is the tree that I've kind of ended up with. I will talk about some links and gearing stuff, and then I'll talk about Colossal Jewels in depth a lot, because I'm in like a couple of levels going to go for a double jewel large into 2 mediums into 2 smalls. Basically, because I'm playing hardcore, because it's a pretty rippy league, my goal is to always maintain at least 7k life. Acro phase acro is really good if you have enough life that when you do get hit, you don't fall over, right? So, what am I currently wearing? What's kind of going on? So I got incredibly lucky yesterday, and I had a perfect Taste of Hate drop. Then today I had a Syndicate, and I called it up to 26. Reasons why I use Taste of Hate, I get a lot of questions about it. It's incredible defensively, so it gives me 20% of physical damage from hits taken as cold damage. This is then mitigated by my resist, and also higher level survivors would then be a very good 2-pointer, because it's just a good 2-pointer anyway, and then the extra max cold res scales the Taste of Hate very well. Because I'm a Parther and I've got loads of flask effect, this also gets scaled up. And it also gives me less cold damage taken, and there's quite a bit of cold damage in Delirium. So yeah, it's just a really good flask this league. I really like it. Also, don't worry, I won't die to Reflect. I can run Physical Reflect, and I can run Elemental Reflect with this stuff up. Some people thought I'd maybe kill myself to Reflect. I'm running a Quartz of Warding. I think a Phasing Flask is an absolute must this league. I was originally running a Jade of Warding, but I just felt like I really needed 100% uptime on Phasing. It does also give me a nice boost to my dodge. So you can see I have 52 dodge, 48 spell dodge while it's active. And then we're using a Correlatos, which is mostly just there for the increased duration of poisons. And, yeah. Then, obviously, you know, Quicksilver of Adrenaline. And a Blood of the Crew. You'd be like, Tarke, where are you getting your bleed removal from? I corrupted this. Corrupted Blood can be inflicted on you duel yesterday. So this gives me Corrupted Blood immunity, which is very strong. 7% life, 4% attack and cast speed. Attack speed's good for my build. The cast speed's good for my build because of my Wither Totem. And the Global Critical Strike multi is actually decent because I have Perfect Agony in my build. So it actually does scale my poison damage a little bit. And you're like, okay, but what about like punctures? What about normal bleeds? I also have Mender's Wellspring, which is a medium flask jewel, which gives life flask, gain 1 charge every 3 seconds, remove bleeding when you use a life flask, and increase life recovery from flasks. I was originally planning on using 2 medium chaos multi-jewels, but I decided to ultimately go for 1 medium chaos multi and 1 flask jewel for this mod. Even though I'm corrupting blood immune, you can still die to like punctures, and punctures are scary, and it's just a nice combo of the two. Having corrupting blood immunity is really good for the Cirrus fight, and it's really good for just like mapping and not paying attention to what's going on. It's just a nice combo. The second mod, sadly, I didn't get it, and I haven't got enough ults, but I will eventually re-roll this jewel. There's a mod which gives you 8% maximum life, 30% life recovery from flasks. So ideally, I get Mender's Wellspring and then 8% life and a bunch of life recovery. And that also means that my career ward then just heals for an insane amount. If you know how career ward works, it heals for a bunch over the 2.7 seconds. And then at the end, I get the full effect again. So it currently gives me something like 8k life over 2.7 seconds with my flask effect on life recovery. And then another like 8k heal at the end, which is obviously pretty powerful. But I'll come back to the Colossal Jewels in a little bit. So that's the flask setup. I've managed to get a pair of Curse on Hit Embalmers. I corrupted like maybe 7 Embalmers and I hit this, which was incredibly lucky. So that's I'm cursing in my build. And then my links, these will change, but currently they are Scourge Arrow, Added Chaos, Unbound Ailments, Deadly Ailments, Vile Toxins, Mirage Archer. I'm waiting for my Infused Channeling to hit level 20, which you can see it's literally just about to do. And when it hits level 20, I will then get 20 quality on it. And the Infused Channeling with quality and levels, you gain the buff after channeling for 0.6 seconds. Currently, with the amount of attack speed I have, I reach 5 stacks in less than what it would take. So it just wouldn't be, I can show you here. So I've got to wait over 5 seconds to get the, over 5 stacks to get the buff if you wait for that to go away. So it's just slightly off, but with quality. It will be nice and juicy, and it will kick in at like 4 stacks or something. So that'd be quite nice. So that I'll swap in a little bit. And I also need to then get 3 blue on this chest piece, because I don't want to drop the added chaos and the unbound elements. I'm actually really liking Vile Toxins, and I'm not actually liking Mirage Archer that much. I think I'm going to drop Mirage Archer. You could, if you didn't want to drop Mirage Archer, is run Mirage Archer for mapping and then Vile Toxins for bossing. Vile Toxins gives a lot of damage. So it gives 47% more damage with poisons, and then it gives more damage with hits for each poison. And you're like, okay, well, it doesn't matter that much, but the more damage with hits still increases your poison damage. So it's just like it's just a big multiplier. Mirage actually just feels kind of janky. I don't know. I don't really like it. And then in my bow, we've just got a kind of a 4-head Plague Bearer increased AoE dash second wind enhanced setup. If you had a Empower, drop the enhance, and then you would do Plague Bearer, Empower, increased AoE dash second wind. Dash and Plague Bearer both scale very well with plus levels. I currently actually have plus level suckered gems in my bow, because that just happens to be what my bow has, so I'm getting extra levels in here, which is actually kind of nice. Ideally, I'd have a thicket elder bow, and this is important. You can only get the chance of poison inflicted weapon to 100% more damage on eye level 83 elder bows now. Ideally, I would get the poison inflicted mod, the tier 1 chaos mod. Then there's some good suffixes you can get, but basically you just then want attack speed and then chaos multi crafted. Your perfect bow would hit like the dot multi suffix or like the plus arrow suffix or something, and then you'd like multi-mod attack speed multi. To get this, I've been using a combination of corroded fossils, aberrant fossils, metallic fossils. This is the best I've had in like 9 or 10 hits. I'm saving up a bunch more fossils, and then I'm going to try again. I'm hoping that by the time I get around to doing it, another base has dropped, because this is my only 0.5 attack speed base bow, and you want a 0.5 attack speed base bow for Scourge Arrow, because it's all about getting up to your max stacks as quickly as possible. So a Grove Bow or a Thicket Elder eye level 83 is what you want there. Otherwise, the rest of my gear isn't that special. These boots I want to replace. I'm trying to craft a pair of Hunter boots, because on Hunter boots you can get the faster poison mod, which is a big DPS increase. My helmet I'd want to replace with, again, a Hunter helm, because a eye level 85 Hunter helm can get minus enemy chaos resistances. My rings are just a bunch of chaos res, which I value, and if I ever got the divine flesh, I would value very high. And then my Ami is just like okay-ish. In terms of allocation, I would like to allocate dirty techniques, but I don't have a silver oil yet, and also my amulet isn't really good enough to justify it, so for now I'm just using Aspect of the Eagle. But now let's talk about tree stuff and why this is such a fun build. The reason why this build has been so much fun for me is there's so many different ways you can build it, and there's so many different ways of min-maxing it. If you go on Pee-wee Ninja and you look at like Poison Scourge Arrow builds, there's so much variety in how you can build it. I love it. And Colossal Jewels have great synergy here. So, again, you would want a Divine Flesh here, or here, but this is the tree I currently have. So if I could get the large jewel I want at level 95 with all my current gear, I would have 7.9k life and 2.2 million poison damage. And that's with, like, good gear, but nothing that fancy. And in terms of auras, I'm not running Malevolence, which would be a big DPS increase. I'm running Flesh and Stone, Precision, Herald of Agony. That's with no Woke Gems. That's just 21 Scourge Arrow, 21 added Chaos. And then Deadly Ailments, Vile Toxins, Infused Channeling. It's with Wither. And then nothing super cheesy, which is cool. Like, it's nice that you can have such a tanky build with so many layers of mitigation and still have, like, decent damage and everything. So, let's talk about the Colossal Jewel setup, because this is the main thing, which is really cool. So you can get Touch of Cruelty, which gives you chance to hinder on hit, which is nice because you hit a lot with Scourge Arrow, and then it's just a nice 10% increased damage taken by enemies. Unholy Grace gives you a nice chunk of chaos damage, attack and cast speed. Attack speed scales your Scourge Arrow, the cast speed scales your Wither Totems. And then Unwavering Evil, which is the most important one on a large draw, gives you stun immunity while channeling. And Scourge Arrow is a chaos channeled skill, so you're stun immune for most of the time. Very strong. Then Mender's Wellspring for the bleed, more life recovery, more life sustain, 8% life. And then probably just going into 2 Fettles. And then the DPS duel, you could, in theory, just run 2 of these if you didn't want to do the flask setup. Chaos Multi, Low Tolerance, which gives you poison damage multi. Then poisons you inflict on non-poisoned enemies deal 300% increased damage. This was actually bugged, but this latest patch has enabled this. This works now. This is really good with Poison Prolif. And then there is another mod you can get on small duels, which makes your poisons do more damage. But again, I'm playing hardcore, I'm trying to go super tanky. So instead I'm using Flow of Life, which still gives me 24% damage over time, 4% life, and 0.6% life regen. Again, if you didn't want to do this, you could just go for 2 of these, and you'd still gain some life on your medium duel, and then into another Fettle. One thing I'm thinking of doing, though, is I'm currently running a Peace Admits Chaos, which gives 2% physical damage reduction while stationary, and 2% life regen while stationary. Now, obviously, this is a channeling build, so you're often stationary while attacking, and because it's just instant while stationary, you can see that my Physmit just, like, shoots up. So just boom. And it's actually pretty good. So you lose out on a little bit of life, but I think getting the Physmit is probably worth it. And I kind of value life regen as well. It's pretty cool. I might potentially go for 2 Peace amongst Chaos, or I'll just go for 2 Fettles. This one is also rolled decently for me because I hit increased effect and Chaos res, which means I'm getting 5% life, 5% life, and then 8% life. And because I hit the lightning res, that means I managed to craft so much Chaos Res. I currently have 68% Chaos Res on my build. So I've got 7.2k life, 68% Chaos Res, Taste of Hay, Acro Phase Acro, reduced LE damage taken, which also has more synergy with the Taste of Hay, and then I've got Fizz damage taken as fire on my helmet. It's cool. It's just a really cool character. I really like it. In terms of DPS, if you're like, okay, Tarke, this is like way too many life nodes, screw this, I'm a softcore player. There's lots of like really cool utility nodes nearby as well. So you can take Avatar of the Hunt, which gives you some damage, also gives you increased cooldown recovery, which is really nice with dash. For 1 point, you can take this for phasing generation, which is really nice. You can take Fleetfoot, which gives attack and cast speed, which is again, because it scales your Scourge Arrow and your Wither Totem, cooldown recovery is very strong. If you're really along this bottom path from Iron Reflexes to get to Dirty Techniques and everything, you can get a hold of Graceful Assault, which gives a bunch of evasion scaling, which scales your Iron Reflexes, or if you're acro-based, scales your evasion for acro. Attack damage still scales your poison, and then it gives you onslaught generation. You can go for crit nodes down here. You can go for damage over here. You can go into Shadow Start. You can go into Methods of Madness. There's just loads of cool things. Some people skip all this completely and they come into Marauder. Some people skip Sound Life completely. I just like how much variety there is to this build, and I'm really enjoying the playstyle of, like, do one big channel, get a massive Plague Bearer, press Plague Bearer, and then just, like, poison RF everything down. It's great. It's easily one of the coolest builds I've played in a long time, and I'm just slowly progressing. Just getting, you know, each level feels super impactful because there's so many cool things nearby. All these new cluster duel setups. Yeah, I cannot sing the praises enough of this. And if you were playing in Trade League, and then you added a Dark Skull on top of the build, which would give you even more physical mitigation, and then you had a Divine Flesh, which would give you even more elemental mitigation. Like, the fact it's also a Pathfinder and you have 100% uptime in your flask, so you get so much inbuilt flask sustain, makes it a very solid bosser, because you can get respectable damage, loads of layers of mitigation, and then loads of layers of sustain, because you always have your flask up. So, yeah, I really like this build. It's very cool. It's fun. There's also lots of cool crafting things you can go for as well. So, ideally, you would have a Warlord's chest with -15 mana cost, and then if you have -15 mana cost, your Scourge Arrow, well, my Scourge Arrow currently costs 15 with my current link setup, would cost nothing, and then you could play with more reservations. You could fit an aspect of the Spider into this build. I'm going super tank mode, so I'll probably try and fit an aspect of the Crab into this build eventually. Yeah, I just really, really like this character. It's super cool. But anyway, I'm Tarke, looking forward to hopefully not ripping and just continue to provide updates for this build. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. And play poison builds by the way. Bye-bye.